myself Majid bin Fatima. I am commerce lecturer at Ahlabad High School and Junior College. In our previous class, we have discussed about business in details. That is, business can be done by two ways, either by industrial way or by commerce way. And we have discussed about the types of industries. Now, in this session, we will continue our topic and we will see here that what are the hindrances involved in commerce. Let's continue our class. So, we already knows that commerce is an organized system which facilitates free flow of goods and services. So, suppose our products are ready, but what do we do with that products? We need to sell them, right? And in order to sell them, we need customers, right? So, we need customers as well in order to sell our products. So, the person who is manufacturing the goods here will not be involved in the process of selling, means he will not take the burden of selling by himself. Instead, the trader is the person who will sell the goods. The manufacturer who is manufacturing the goods will not sell the products directly to the customers. This work or activity will be done by trader. Suppose our products are ready. And what do we do with those products? We need to sell them, right? And in order to sell our products, we need customers. So, the person who is manufacturing the goods will not be involved in the process of selling the goods directly to the customers. Here, the trader is the person who involves in selling the goods to the customers. Manufacturer will always focus on his work, that is manufacturing of goods. So, the trader is the person who will buy from the manufacturer and then he sells to the customers directly by adding his price or by adding his profit to that product. So, we can say that they both are specialized in their works. So, here we can say that commerce is enabling or helping to do trading. Basically, trading is only called as commerce. Now, if we see the role and functions of commerce, we can say that commerce is linking the customers and producers here, or else if we see its roles and activity, we can also say that commerce is also unlinking the producers and customers. How? Through some hindrances. What do you mean by hindrances? Hindrances are nothing but the difficulties, the obstacles which are being faced by the business organization. Now, we will see the types of hindrances and how the commerce is helping to come out from those hindrances. Let's see. We can describe commerce as trade and aids of trade. So, the means which is removing the hindrance here is aids of trade. Now, let's see what are the hindrances. Hindrances are of 7 types. They are person and they are being removed by aids of trade, that is trade. Here the place is also a hindrance which is removed by transportation. Time is also a hindrance which is removed by warehousing. Finance is removed by banking. Risk is removed by insurance. Promotion is removed by advertisement and information is removed by communication. Now, we will discuss about these hindrances in details so that you can understand this topic more clearly. So, our first hindrance or first obstacle is hindrance of person. This is our basic problem. If the manufacturer has made a product, then there is a requirement of market where he can sell his products, right? If the market is not available, then where the manufacturer will sell his products? If there is no market, he cannot sell his products. So, he need a market where he can sell his products directly to the customers or consumers. There are no chances that the customer will directly come to the manufacturer or the factory where they can buy or consume the products. So instead we need to provide a place where the manufacturer can sell his products or goods to the customers directly. So, that place is called as market. Here, with the help of commerce, there is availability of market, right? But here the manufacturer is directly not selling to the customers. Instead, the traders who are buying from manufacturers are selling those products to the consumers or customers, right? Therefore, we can say that the first help from commerce is providing the market where the manufacturer or traders can sell their products to the customers, means it's providing a link between the producers and customers, right? So, this is the first help from commerce. Here we can also say that The commerce is ensuring the link between the producers and the customers, right? Now let's see our next hindrance, that is hindrance of place. Suppose the manufacturer is at Madhya Pradesh and the customer is at Delhi. So how they can do the process of trading? If there is no transportation, they cannot do the process of trading. So here this hindrance is removed by transportation, right? So here the commerce is helping out to come out from this hindrance by the means of transportation, right? Here the transportation is provided by the aids of trade, that is from commerce, to come out from this hindrance of place, right? Let's see what are the hindrances faced by the businessmen and how the commerce is helping to remove those hindrances. So our first hindrance, I want to clear that what do you mean by hindrance? As I told you earlier that hindrance is nothing but an obstacle or difficulty which the businessman is facing during his trading. So first hindrance is hindrance of person. So this is removed by commerce by the means of trade. So this is our basic problem. The manufacturer has made his products, then where he can display or where he can sell his products to the customers, since manufacturer will not sell his products directly to the customers. Here traders are being involved. Then where the traders can sell their products, they need some place, right? To that place we can call as market. So market is the place where the manufacturer or trader is selling their products directly to the customers. So this market is provided by commerce. Since there is no chance that the customer will go directly to the manufacturer or to the factory to buy the products. Instead, the customer can buy his own requirements at the place which we call as market. So here commerce is ensuring the relation, or here the commerce is ensuring the link between the producers and the customers, right? So this is the first hindrance which is removed by commerce by means of trade, right? Now let's see our another hindrance, that is hindrance of place, which is removed by transportation. Suppose the manufacturer is at Madhya Pradesh and the consumer is at Delhi. Then how can they do the process of trading? They need some service, right? That service is being provided as means of transportation to them with the help of commerce. Here the customer can buy the product or the customer can get the products from the manufacturer by means of transport. You already know what are the means of transport, by airways, by waterways or by railways, whatever that may be, but the customer can get his orders or the customer can get his product directly by the means of transport. So here the means of transportation is being provided for customer and for manufacturer by commerce, right? Our another hindrance is hindrance of time, and this hindrance is removed by commerce by the means of warehousing. Suppose I am producing my products in bulk of quantity, even though if I don't need those products currently. So what do? Where can I store my remaining products? Here this means of warehousing is providing me the space where I can store my remaining products or remaining stock. In short, I can say that I can keep my remaining stock in warehouse and can use them in future whenever the customer has requirement, right? So this means it's being provided by the commerce to remove the hindrance of time. Our another hindrance is hindrance of risk, right, which being removed by the commerce by the means of insurance. So every business involves risk. There may be the traders who don't want to take any risk. So insurance here can stand as a security or protection against heavy loss which may be faced by the businessman in future. Producers may worry about their products due to various reasons such as theft, fire, etc. So to overcome with this loss, producers what they will do, they will take the insurance in advance so that when they face such difficulty, they can overcome with that. So here commerce is helping by means of insurance to overcome the hindrance of risk. Our another hindrance is hindrance of finance, which is being removed by commerce by the way of banking. Sometimes what will happen, the businessmen will run out of money and they want to buy or sell things or products. But how can they sell without money, or how can they buy without money? So under such conditions, the businessmen, they can go directly to the bank and take the loan, that is temporary loan, which they can take and they can continue with their business, and in future they can pay back their loan to the bank. So here this banking facility is being provided by the commerce to remove the hindrance of finance. Now our last but not least hindrance, that is hindrance to information, which is being removed by the way of communication. Here every person may not know about the information regarding the product which has been launched in the market. Means they do not know what are the features, what is the quality and what are the benefits with that product. So in order to make customers aware about that product, this communication or this means of communication is required here, and this can be done through advertising, right? Advertising can be done by newspaper, radio, hoardings, etc. so that the customer can have awareness about the products which are being launched in the market, and that information can help the customers to buy that product. So this was all about the hindrances which are involved in commerce. Now let's proceed our topic with the branches of commerce. Now when we will see the branches of commerce, then we can clearly say that commerce has been divided into two branches. They are trade and auxiliaries to trade. We have already discussed about them earlier, but here we will discuss about them in details. So what do you mean by trade? Trade is a branch of commerce which deals with buying and selling of goods. Means here goods and services are being exchanged, and the person who is selling the goods is called as seller, and the person who is buying the goods is called as buyer, right? So if any transaction related to trade will takes place, there should be minimum of two peoples. Means trade can be done between two or more parties, right? Here the seller is getting back something in consideration. We can call it as return or consideration as well, but in monetary terms we call it as money. The seller, when he will sell his goods to the customer, he will get back in return, that is amount or money. Now when we will see trade, again we can clearly say that trade has been divided into two parts. They are home trade and foreign trade. So home trade, what do you mean by home trade? Home trade is also known as domestic trade or internal trade. So under home trade, both the buyer and seller will be of same country. Means here trading will be done under the boundaries of the same country. Now again this home trade has been divided into two types, that is wholesale trade and retail trade. Under wholesale trade, buying and selling of goods will takes place in large quantities, and the traders who are engaged under this wholesale trade are called as wholesalers, and they serves as a connecting link between the producers and the customers. Our another part of home trade is retail trade. So here retail trade involves buying and selling of goods in small quantity. Here the traders who are engaged in retail trade are called as retailers, and it also serves as a link between the producers and the customers. Let's see what do you mean by foreign trade. Foreign trade is nothing but buying and selling of products will takes place between the countries here, and again it has been divided into three types, that is import, export and interport. Under import trade, we are selling our goods to the other countries or other foreign countries. For example, India exports tea to UK. And what do you mean by export trade? Export trade means where we are buying products from foreign countries. So here for example, India will purchase petrol from Iran, that is import trade. And what do you mean by export trade? Export trade means where our country is selling to another or foreign countries, right? So here we can take example of tea. UK will buy tea from India. So here our country is exporting tea to UK. That comes under export trade. Now what do you mean by interport trade? Interport trade is nothing but buying from one country in order to sell or with the intention of selling that product to another country. That is called as intraport trade. So this was all about trade and its types. Now let's move to auxiliaries to trade. We have already discussed about these topics. Now we will discuss about this in detail. What are the auxiliaries to trade? They are banking and finance, transportation and communication, insurance, advertising and warehousing. Let's see each of them in detail. Auxiliaries to trade. Auxiliaries to trade includes all the activities or services by which trading can be done easily. See, without these auxiliaries to trade, it would be impossible for us to trade, right? We have already discussed about that in hindrances of commerce. Now, let's proceed with auxiliaries to trade. In the absence of these services, we will not get that helpful nature in trading which is provided by these services. So, these services of auxiliaries to trade is providing us with helpful service where we can do trading very easily. So, in addition to these services, there are other services as well, but these are the important services which we are going to discuss now. So, first auxiliaries to trade is banking and finance. Suppose there is a person who has an idea of doing business, but he is running out of money. How can he start his own business, or how can he commence his business? He needs capital in order to commence his business, right? So, in order to get capital, what he can do? He can go to his family and friends and ask for capital. But in case when his friends and family will not support him, what he can do? How can he commence his own business? Under such case, he can go to the bank where he can take loan to start his own business. So basically, if a person has an idea of doing business but is running out of capital or out of money, he can go to the bank and where he can take loan from the bank. Besides giving loan, bank is also providing with other facilities as well, such as the facility of overdraft and facility of cash transactions, etc. Now let's see what do you mean by overdraft. So these are the two facilities which are being provided by the bank, that is overdraft and cash transaction. What do you mean by overdraft? Overdraft means, suppose I am a businessman and I have to get payment from somewhere on 5th October, but I have to do payment also on 2nd October. In that scenario, I am running out of money. So how can I do payment on 2nd October? When I can get my money? I can get my money on 5th October, but I have to do payment on 2nd October. In such scenario, how can I help myself, or how can I come out of such difficulty? Here, under such case, I can go to the bank where I can avail this overdraft facility. So, in such case, what bank will do? Bank will provide me money that we can call as short term loan. So, where I can get loan from bank and I can do my payment, and when I will get back my payment, I can pay or I can submit that payment to the bank. So, this facility is being provided by the bank to overcome such difficulty. That is, we can call it as overdraft facility. Now, what do you mean by cash transaction? Here, business can be of two scales, that is large scale or short scale. So, in order to run short scale business, we can do transactions of money, right? Directly we can give cash in hand to the customers or the buyers. But under large scale business, we have to do transactions of 10 lakhs, 15 lakhs, 50 crores or 2 crores, etc. Then how can we give cash in hand to the customers or producers under long scale industries? Now let's see our another facility, that is cash transaction. What do you mean by cash transaction? See, business can be of two scales, that is large scale or short scale. Under short scale business, transaction can be done very easily, that is cash in hand can be done where I can give my money to the producers or to the buyers. But under large scale industries or under large scale business, the transaction will be very high. For say 2 lakhs, 5 lakhs, 15 lakhs, we cannot do transaction by cash in hand here. So, under such case, we need a bank where these transactions can be done. Means here we are not giving money directly to the customer or directly to the producer. Here we are going to send our money from our account to their account. So here the accounts transaction will takes place, cash in hand will not takes place. So this facility is being provided by bank to overcome such problems. Now let's see another auxiliary to trade, that is transportation and communication. When we move goods from one place to another place, obviously we need transportation facility, right? Under such scenario, this transportation facility is being provided by auxiliaries to trade or commerce. There we can transport our goods from one place to another place. For example, I heard that Assam tea is very tasty, but by hearing I cannot taste it, right? Unless and until I had that tea on my tongue, I cannot taste it. I can hear that it's tasty, but unless and until I taste it with my mouth, I cannot say that it's very tasty. So here, if I want to taste that tea, I need to order that tea first. I can order very easily, but how can I get that at my home since I am not living in Assam, right? So how can I get that tea at my home? Under such case, transportation will help. Means transportation will help to move the goods from one place to another place. By the help of transportation, I can get that tea at my home and then I can taste it and then I can say that that tea is very tasty, right? So this transportation, so with the help of transportation, we can move or locate goods from one place to another place. And transportation can be done by three ways, that is airways, roadways and waterways. We already know what are the means of transportation, so we need not to discuss about them here. Now let's see what do you mean by communication. If I am running out of raw materials and I am in need of them, then at that time I can communicate with other person to get my raw materials, right? Without communication I cannot get my products, or without communication I cannot get my raw materials at my home, right? When I am in need of something, I should tell my need to others so that they can solve my need, right? So here communication plays a vital role. Now our another auxiliaries to trade is insurance. Suppose I have ordered my goods from somewhere and I am transporting them from one place to another place by means of waterways, that is by means of ship. So here the ship is unloaded with goods in it, and on the way what happened? A cyclone affected the ship. So here what happened? The ship drowned with goods inside of that ship. So ship also drowned and goods are also drowned. So here who is bearing the loss? The loss is being paid by the producer and the customer as well, because the customer has invested his money. But in order to overcome such natural calamity, what can I do? See, in same case, if I take my insurance policy on that ship, before moving that ship from one place to another place, if I took insurance policy, what will happen? And the same thing happened. That cyclone affected my ship and my ship has been drowned with goods inside it. So what will happen? How can I get back my money here? I need not to bear the loss, and even the producers need not to bear the loss. Here the loss is being paid by the insurance company. So that's how insurance company will help us to overcome uncertain risks. Advertising. What do you mean by advertising? See, if any product has been launched in the market, how can I know about it? I am from general people, right? And I don't know anything about it. So if the product has been launched in the market, or the businessmen who are launching that product must give information about that product, right? What are the features of that product? What is the quality of that product? What is the manufacturing date? What is the expiring date? Etc. So these all should be provided by the manufacturer. Our next auxiliary to trade is advertising. Suppose here, if any product has been launched in the market, how the people will know about it? How can we make aware about that product to the people, right? Here, if the businessman will not aware the people about that product, then how can they sell their products? When the people will not know about that product, they will not buy, obviously. So under such scenario, the businessman has to advertise their product in the market, where the people can know about the quality, the features, the quantity about that product, and where the people can buy that product very easily. So advertising is very important when you are launching any product or when you are introducing a new product in the market. Advertising is compulsory here. So this advertising can be done through different ways. That is, we can advertise by TV, radio, hoarding, etc. Under TV, we can give advertisement about our product where the people will get to know about our product, and through radio also we can aware the people about our product. So this advertising can be done through different ways. Now let's see our last auxiliaries to trade, that is warehousing. Suppose I received a order to prepare 100 bottles, but instead my industry is on large scale basis, so I prepare 200 bottles at a time, but I have to sell 100 bottles. So the remaining 100 bottles will be with me by the means of remaining stock. I need a place where I can store my remaining stock. So to store that stock, I need a place where I can call it as warehousing. At warehousing, I can store my remaining stock, and the remaining stock, which is 100 bottles, I can sell in the market. So the products which I am keeping at warehousing, I can sell them or I can use them in future purpose. So this was all about the auxiliaries to trade, and this was all about our chapter, that is business activities. We will continue our class with new lesson tomorrow. Thank you.